Hi. So I want to ask you this question. How do you decide what it is you want to do with your life? How do you decide the steps that you need to take? How do you stay on point so that you're working towards, well, either the change you want to make in your life or making sure you get things done? You know, since the election, and I wasn't happy, and I'm still not happy, but I have made quite a few changes, and I've been doing a lot of thinking. The first thing I started doing was I basically eliminated all news from my feed, or as much as possible. So, truthfully, I don't really know what's going on right now. And you know what? I'm a little happier about that. I'm one of those people who has always wanted to know everything that was going on. I always said, you need to be prepared. And what I have found is that there hasn't been anything that's been so critical that my life has been in danger. Now, I do see headlines here and there in different places because, you can't just block everything on Twitter. It turns out on Facebook, people can send images. So if they don't put a heading in it, you're not really sure what you're saying. And you can't block anything on LinkedIn. The only thing you can do is limit the number of people who you're connected to based on what you see that they're putting out, which is number 2 of what I've done. Is I have basically culled the list of people that I'm connected to on LinkedIn. I have reduced some of the people I'm connected to on Twitter. Turns out Twitter created a blocking feature so I can block any terminology I want to. That's been wonderful. On Facebook, I haven't really gotten rid of anybody, but what I did is I put them in different categories so that I'm not seeing a lot of stuff from people not only that I disagree with, but people I agree with who keep bringing up the stuff I don't want to hear about. So that was step 2. But step 3 is the interesting one because I've been looking at my business, and I've been in business for myself for 15 and a half years now, since it's December. And I'm thinking I need to make some kind of change, but I'm not exactly sure what kind of change I want to do. For those of you who this may be the first time you're ever seeing anything I do, I'm a healthcare finance consultant. What I do is I go into hospitals and I help them increase their revenue, increase their cash, and not be fined or have anyone go to jail. In essence, that's what I do. And it's been an uphill struggle because it's hard to get people who don't necessarily understand what I do because they didn't come up from the beginning of healthcare and work their way into the positions. These are the people who actually have to hire me. So most of them have never done any of the work I've done, so they don't understand it. And it's hard to even get those people to talk to you. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, you know what, I'm tired of beating myself over the head trying to get through to a lot of these people. And then, of course, there's the thing that I did the video on last week, which is this flu shot, which basically says that for 4 months out of the year, my career is pretty much in flux. Basically, from the beginning of December to the end of March, because either some of these people want me to wear a mask or won't even let me in at all if I don't take a flu shot. And I'm thinking, wow, that's not really all that helpful. And I only had to start dealing with that since 2013, and that's irksome as anything. So I'm thinking about changing my model on that. Then we have leadership. And most of the videos I do on this channel are regarding leadership. And I love talking about leadership. But I have not really generated a lot of income from that. Back in the mid-2000s, I was giving a lot of presentations on it, but, it wasn't livable money, but it was money. And then we had the the financial crash of 2008, 2009, 2010, and people stopped paying for speakers talking about leadership. I talk about a lot of different things as a speaker, and I've always said when I grow up I want to be a professional speaker, but it's harder to get people to pay for you to come talk to them. And I want to get paid. I'm just like Dobby the house elf. We wants to get paid. So there you go. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at, all the things that go along with leadership, diversity, customer service. There's money to be made there, but I really need to refocus how I want to do it. And then the other side, which I don't talk about all that often on this channel, I talk about it more on my other side, is the social media aspect. I've got over 5,000 articles online. I have 5 blogs of my own. I love to blog. I love to talk about blogging. I like to talk about social media. I like to talk about writing. And I do that on my other site. And, I'm just looking at things a little bit differently. I'm going through the process of reinvention. There was this conference I went to back in October, and that's what it was all about, reinvention and re-energizing oneself. And I'm not the only one. My wife is going through the same kind of thing right now. She was supposed to be going on some kind of assignment, and all of a sudden at the last minute, they pulled the flu shot thing on her. And she's got a letter saying she doesn't have to do it. And then they pulled that on her, and she's still home. And now she's looking at reinventing herself. So if you saw my little thumbnail, you saw this like to-do thing. And I'm using things like that. I've got my Franklin planner, which I haven't even cracked open, which I need to do because I need to formulate a plan and I need to write down just what it is I want to do. And a lot of people go through things like this, but I don't know that everyone basically, writes things down, or they have some people they can talk to, which it's just me and my wife. We're the only ones who can talk to each other, which isn't bad. But, I wish that there were a few more people I could work, my way through some of these issues on, but there just isn't. So anyway, I've got this to-do thing, this type of thing. I've got my Franklin planner. I have a whiteboard, and I can't take the camera off the monitor and show you too, but I actually have a whiteboard. And I find that, that's for more important things. For instance, I needed to contact my mother's doctor, and they have this thing they call My Chart, and they probably have it around the nation, but at least they have it in New York, where you can actually contact your doctors and write out certain things or set up appointments or do all this other kind of stuff. So I had written something on their board basically this morning, and I actually did that this evening. So I am realizing that if I write stuff down and now I see it in front of me, I will get it done. It's all about thinking about it. It's about coming up with a process to get there. And then it's about attacking your process. And right now I'm still in stage 1. Doesn't mean I'm not still going to do my videos on leadership. Doesn't mean I may not still do videos on healthcare. I'm certainly looking for more motivational videos. But, we're going to do what we do. And I'm just wondering how many of you go through the same type of thing and what you do to try to get there. That's what this video is about. Anyway, I'm Mitch Mitchell. I'd love to hear from you. Y'all take care. Hope you have a great week.